This is the third vlog assignment due April 24th, and I'm actually doing this one, turning this one in on time. The main reading that we had for this week was Mary Bastian. She wrote something called Composing a Life Story, and she talked about how people kind of construct the story of their life. And she said that most people break it up in a way that's continuous, where they try to make everything make sense, like try to make it explain everything as leading into a certain direction. She said that she always wanted to become a writer, and she kind of gave an example of how she can construct her own past as making it seem like everything was leading up to her becoming who she became. But then she also gave an example of kind of how her life was discontinuous, where it was kind of an accident that she became who she was, and it wasn't everything that wasn't necessarily leading up to that. She said even though there can be a lot of discontinuity in people's lives, there can also be threads of continuity, threads of kind of the same things going on. She said that her dad studied a lot of different things in his career, but all of them, he realized later on, all of them were kind of trying to answer the same question. And she said that if we're able to see the threads of continuity in our life in things that we assume are unrelated, like switching jobs, or I can't give many examples right now. If we can find those things, we can find ways that we can adapt to changing situations. She gave an example of Iranian refugees who are coming to America. Some of them saw a way that they can create continuing their life in a new world and with a lot of changes by adapting their skills, while other people saw their new life or the changes as ending everything that they once knew. And I can, as kind of a personal reflection on myself of what she's talking about, I can see how, just in the way I look at my own past, I look at my flaws and the bad things that happen as exceptions to what was meant to be, what was like supposed to happen. I see those things as just kind of exceptions, as not defining my past, and I look at only the good things as kind of like what she said, like the continuous story. And I really only include the good things as a part of what defines my story, and I think most people do that. And I've always kind of noticed that I kind of believe that everything's just going to turn out the way I want it to somehow. Like that's just how it has to happen. So I look at my future as just kind of, it's going to be this continuous story of how I want it to happen. And so I think there's truth in I could just see in myself that there's truth in what she's saying about how people kind of view their life story of how it happened, how it's going to happen. And for for something we talked about in our discussion forum, which relates to this, is technology and social media, how people can present themselves and present their life. They can delete what they don't want people to see and what they don't want to acknowledge, and only include what they want people to see, and they can kind of make their story how they want it to look. And finally, for a reflection on just a topic from this whole class that I've thought about, is Dorothy Sayers' conception of work. And I'd say that in my essay, I said that just the basics of what she was saying, that you should take ownership of your work and kind of see creating things and doing things and producing things as kind of important as an important part of who you are, that it's more important than relaxing and doing stuff that's fun, because when you're doing that, you're not creating anything. So I agree with that, but the fact is that no matter what work you do, it's going to be painful and it's going to be exhausting, no matter how much you love it and how much you love what you create through it. It's still going to be painful. And I think she was just kind of unrealistic, and she kind of ignored that aspect. Like, you can't just make something that's painful good. You can't just, that's just impossible. It's like making trying to say that a white piece of paper is a TV show. Like, it's, you just can't you can't use your imagination and do that. And personally for myself, school has become very difficult to just do. And I know that I try to change my attitude, and I know I can change my attitude about it. So I don't think that's impossible for me to find joy in it. I know that no matter how difficult or how much I hate a homework assignment, once I complete it, I do kind of have a sense of pride in it. And that's just something that just kind of pops up. And so that's it.